All right, we're finna go ahead and get it started, fellas. Hold up, man. Hey, whoa. Hold on. All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 53, if I'm not mistaken. Talking about losing friends over women. Hey, come on now. The math's off right there. 3 equals 2, 2 equals 1, 1 equals none. Come on now. Said a wise man, fellas. Said a wise man. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start it. Also, if you have any personal experience regarding any of these, the topic for today, make sure you go ahead and leave in the comments as well. Also, I want you to go ahead and check out my TikTok as well as my YouTube Shorts. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on those as well. I do be posting those for the most part 3 times a week, or not 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 3 times a day on the days that I do post. Today was one of the days I didn't, unfortunately, but it's because I had some technical difficulties, but which I fixed. So I should be posting some tomorrow. So to get into the podcast for today, like I said, we're going to be talking about losing friends over women. So this is a situation that has happened to me a few times, and I wanted to address it because I seen somebody else addressing a similar thing that they've recently gone through. For me personally, it's been, I want to say, over a year since I've lost any friends, if I'm not mistaken, to women. But it has happened, and I do want to go over. The motives behind the guy, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's something that should never happen, ever. A woman should never get in between you and your friends, ever, regardless of the situation. It should, for the most part, I won't say regardless of the situation. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule, like cheating and stuff like that. But if there's no cheating going on, right, no inclination of interest, there should be no reason for it to be any type of way. And if you're a man watching this, this is your responsibility to not let a woman get in the way of a friendship. Friendships mean more in this life, especially if you aren't married, right? And some would say, here's the thing: having friends, it might even be better than having a wife at a young age, right? Just because you know friends are gonna stick with you, or at least the friends that I have personally. I did lose some friends, but most of my friends have been solid for years, like over 4 years now. I even have Anthony who comes on the podcast every so often. He comes on. I've been friends with him for almost 12 years now. So like, most of my friends are solid, but we're gonna go over this because, like I said, I just thought it was, I thought it was something relevant that I could talk about, and also I seen, like I said, other people going through the same shit. So I want to talk about it. Give me a second. All right, so I'll go ahead and give you a short synopsis of a few friends that I'm not gonna, of course, I'm not gonna expose any of their information or anything like that, but I'll see a little bit about what I think led to some of the situations that I had went into. So we got one of my friends. One of my friends. It was nothing but a conversation that I had with him and another friend, and for whatever reason, that situation got blown out of proportion. He, for whatever reason, didn't respect the bro code and thought it was okay to have a conversation that we had the personal conversations, which if you're a dude, you know how conversations go. It's a locker room talk. That's just how it is, bro. That's just how it is. And in those conversations, you should never express those conversations to a woman, realistically. If you're a man and you know that, and you respect the bro code, which most men do, which is thankful. But if you're acting any way out of sorts, and if a woman has you feeling any type of way that isn't the normal way of thinking, you need to adjust something. Something's wrong. Something is seriously wrong. And in this situation, I had an individual who was close to me. We were friends for years at this point. I want to say maybe 8 years at this point. We had a conversation about a woman that he was talking to, and he did not like it. He did not like having the conversation based off of her reaction to him basically exposing our entire conversation. Of course, a woman's not going to like the locker room talk. That's just that's something that we keep close to the vest. That's something we keep just to the boys. So you can't have that expectation that she's going to be, oh, okay, like, oh, that's not how that works. No, that's not how that works. So that right there is something that's one of the situations that happened. Another one, I don't exactly know what it was. I'm gonna assume it was a girl problem, but if I could give you a short story about that, basically, I had a friend who, at that point, like I said, friends with her probably 4, 5, 6 years at that point. I think he was under the assumption that I was trying to talk to his girl or something like that, which is definitely not the case. Definitely not the case. But he thought I was talking to her or something, or trying to make an effort of like unnecessary effort, when in reality, that's not the way it was. I think it was. I honestly just believe it was a misconception that I tried to correct, but I guess I didn't do enough, and then we just kind of stopped talking. If you are one of these people that I'm talking about, and you want to, um, have a character test and have a conversation about it, go ahead and let me know as well. But we get into it, right? I just think that if you have a situation like that, and let's just say for whatever reason the situation turns salt, right? They break up or whatever the case is, right? And you still want to be friends with that dude, right? It's gonna say a lot about your character to come to me or come to the person and have the conversation with them, saying, you know what, man, I fucked up, man. You know what, I acted out of pocket. I did this, just taking accountability for your actions and saying, you know what, I messed up, but I knew it was wrong. I'm sorry that it went that way, and I would still like to be friends with you, right? That is something that if my friends that were my friends had said that to me, it would have said a lot about their character, and I would have forgave them. Even though I do believe that what they did is fucking ridiculous in the first place for even choosing a woman over your friend. I just think that's goofy, especially if you have history like I did with my friends. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's gonna there's a character test that needs to be had, right? If you understand what you did is wrong, okay, that's fine. But you need to be able to communicate that in a way that's going to, like I said, making sure the water's under the bridge, and come to terms with, like I said, just understanding what you did was wrong, and um, that you still want to have that friendship, because like I said, friendships and meaningful relationships in general are some of the most important things you can possibly have in this life. And you know, there's not many solid friends that are around. Period. Right? If anyone going through life, they know that you probably only have a few friends from your childhood. And same with me. Thankfully, I've had a lot more solid friends than I've had not solid friends. But what I will say is, like I said, it's hard. It's hard to come by friends. It is. It actually is hard to come by friends. So keeping them solid, understanding each other's boundaries and stuff like that is definitely something that is needed for sure. But like I said, if you lose a friend and you still want to be friends with them, like I said, you need to develop your character enough to say, you know what, I fucked up, and I still want this because you know it's not worth having those problems when you could have when you could have a friendship and resolve the issues. Um, uh, you shouldn't have to stay neutral. You shouldn't have to. Realistically, your friend and your woman should never put you in the position to lose either of them. Keep it 1,000. Honestly, I wouldn't remain neutral. Like I said, for me personally, I'm speaking from my own experiences. If those people who decided not to be my friend anymore because of a situation that happened with a woman wanted to be my friend, I would still forgive them for that, because of the character development that it would need to take the accountability, and say man to man, hey, I'm wrong. I would go and take them back. I wouldn't go to neutral. I just waste time. In my life, I'm only pursuing meaningful relationships, whether it's just friendships, whether this is interactions with women. I'm just trying to pursue meaningful interactions, and if it's not a meaningful interaction, then there's no point of having it in general. That's something that I wrote down on my, which I've talked about in a few podcasts. I have this list that every single morning I go over, just so I can have the right focus early on in the morning, so I can have the right focus for the rest of the day moving forward, right? And at the top, I won't say at the top of my list, midway through my list, it says a reason for me getting up this morning is to pursue meaningful relationships. So, with that being said, a friendship that is worth having is definitely a meaningful relationship that I will definitely pursue and definitely try to keep as much as I possibly can. Anything less, I'm not trying to stay neutral with somebody. I'm not trying to just be cool with somebody. No, it's either you're my friend or you're not talking. Simple as that. Just it's not worth my damn time. Simple. Um, but yeah, I just think that it's something that people need to discuss more. Um, it takes a lot of accountability. It takes a lot of, like I said, character development to come to that point where, like I said, you can admit you're wrong. But if you're able to do that, it's probably going to be worth it if you're still trying to pursue a friendship that has lasted years, or whatever your situation is, right? And another thing I want to really emphasize with is this right here, and this is something that I mentioned a little earlier. Your woman should never put you in a position to say it's either them or me. Never. That's not the right woman for you. If she's making you choose between your friend or the woman, no, it's not the right woman, period. Drop the woman. Woman should never do that. If your friends say it's either me or the woman, hey, your friend should never do that to you, period. So, with that being said, it's not about either or. Um, you should never put yourself in a compromising position. No one should ever put you in a compromising position, such as choosing, because that's not the way it is. That's not the way life should work, in my opinion. But you know what happens sometimes. But going back to what I was saying, or wanting to start something new, right? Along with this comes your masculine values. If you see that you're friends with somebody and they do not have the same masculine values as you, like for example, if you're a person that likes to progress in life a lot, and you are with somebody that, or you're friends with somebody that doesn't like to progress a lot, it's going to be very, very hard to relate with that person. And I would say it's worth considering not even having the interaction at all because, quite frankly, people like that hold you back in this life. I am one of those people, and I try to surround myself with people who are ambitious and young. And if you are not ambitious and young, for the most part, I will try to exclude you in some type of way, or I just won't talk to you, right? And the reason for that is, like I said, you are the result of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, as well as content you consume as well. So, um, like I said, if the masculine values don't align, if you have certain, I wouldn't say pet peeves, I guess, within work ethic or within habits, and they do not align, it's like I said, it's going to be very hard. There's going to be room for conflict. And basically, if your values are not aligned, then you just have a completely different worldview, and that can be hard to maintain a friendship with because it's honestly maybe not even worth it at that point. Um, like I said, I'm a friend to prioritize his friendships because for the most part they're of meaning. But you just have to evaluate whether if it's meaningful or not. But yeah, this podcast is gonna be a little bit shorter. It's just something I kind of wanted to get off my chest, and like I said, I'd seen the other people were talking about it. But yeah, make sure your masculine values are in line with your friend. Or I'll give you some advice if a woman lost a friend that was a woman as well, right? Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of character to say I fucked up. Most women are not willing to take accountability in life, so it'd be hard. It'd probably be more hard to get a friend back if you were a girl than I think if you were a guy. Some guys are character have enough quality character enough to actually like I said admit that hard truth to try to get over that issue. A lot of women are rather not, just to avoid the potential look of the girl rejecting her, which is whatever. But that's through my experience. That's through my human lens. So that's just what I see. If you're in here right now, I appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure to go and leave a comment. GDP, always checking in. Appreciate you for stopping by. But like, if you're watching this and if you can relate to this topic in any type of way, make sure to go and leave in the comments as well. Whether this is a friend that you had or a friend that you have, and there was an issue that came up between y'all because of women. You should never like I said, you should never let women get in the way, get in the way of your friendships ever. This is something that you should prioritize and maintain. And if I see any of my boys drifting off path, whether this is with hanging out with me, or whether this is working out, or whether this is just slipping in their own purpose in life, and it's because of a woman, I'm gonna go ahead and check them because that is what is 100% needed, and that's 100% what I would like and respect as a man. If my friends see me slacking off because of a woman, I would say, hey, I hope that they would do the best thing that's for me, which is to confront me and say, hey, you're fucking up. Like you need to do something about that. I would definitely appreciate that more than not. It might be initially uncomfortable, but like I said, if it's gonna bring me long term prosperity, then of course that's what has to be done. But yeah, I think it's foolish that men could even choose a woman over their friend, especially if it's for an extended period of time that they've been friends. Um, Obviously, it depends on what the situation is, but for the most part, through my personal experiences, the friends that I've lost to women, it's been for goofy ass reasons that with enough conversation should get the point across. It's just a matter of people being stubborn, quite frankly. Not, I'm not. I will take accountability. It also is me being stubborn as well. But that's what it comes down to. A lot of men are stubborn. They just don't want to. They don't want to go back on something that they said because there's too much pride. There's pride involved and ego involved. You know how this shit goes, right? But hey, is it worth? If the interaction is worth your time and worth your growth, potential growth that you could have, if you had that friend, you got to just man up, man. You got to man up and say, hey, I did you wrong, and that shit will never happen again. And I was wrong because of this, and I should have done that. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Water under the bridge. And I would definitely say, of course, like I said, it depends what happened. But if you're a man and a man's able to do that, I would say that's it. That's it. Like I said, that says a lot about his character, and that is a friend that you need to consider having again because that person is of higher quality. Because most men will not do that. Most people won't do that in general. Um, but yeah, let me see if I have anything else I want to talk about. This podcast was going to be a little bit shorter, but another thing I wanted to mention as well. I'll be having my next podcast on Wednesday. This week is going to be changed up a little bit. Obviously, Monday podcast. I usually don't do Monday podcasts anymore, but I'll be having it on Monday and Wednesday this week because of some stuff that came up. So just to let you know, next podcast is going to be on Wednesday. I do not have any final announcements for that one yet. I have to make some calls. I might have a guest on. I might not have a guest on, but hopefully I do. Yeah, it's maturity. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's maturity, and if they're not mature enough to like I said, be the bigger man in that regard, then you know what? Hey, it's not worth having them in general. Even if it's not worth like for example, right? The situations in which I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, in the situation that I've lost friends to women, there's no way I'm going to be like, hey, there's no way I'm going to be like, hey, I still want to be friends with you even though you did me wrong. There's no way. And that I don't know if that's maturity, ego, I don't know what it is, but quite frankly, it's not something that I'm willing to do just because it just wouldn't make any sense. And them not coming to me could be a sign of a lack of maturity. Because like I said, you don't want to put your pride aside, you don't want to put your ego aside, just to, have the overall interaction be better in general. But yeah, like I said, it's a maturity thing. You're exactly right. But yeah, that one's that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one right there. If you ever lost any friends to women, it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough. You're just like, man, what the fuck just happened, dude? What just happened, dude? We got 3 people in here. I appreciate you for stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment if you're in here. Also, if you have ever lost a friend to a woman or because of a woman, make sure you go ahead and let me know as well. It takes a lot. It takes swallowing some pride, which most aren't willing to do, in fear of others looking at you like you're weak. Exactly. I agree. It also takes mature people in the interaction to determine if they view you as weak or if they view you as somebody of quality. Andrew, what's good, man? What's good, man? Appreciate you for stopping by. Yeah, the topic for today, like I said, losing friends because of women. It's not something I'd recommend. I've lost a few friends because of women. If you know who they are, do not say them in the fucking chat. But reality, it's tougher than say sorry and yeah, I guess you're right, but hey, like I said, most people aren't willing to do it, man. Most people aren't willing to do it, but like I said, I had my fair share of situations where for some reason, an old friend picked a woman over me. Um, Goofy as hell. That's all I'm gonna say. Goofy. Whatever the situation was, hey, goofy man, come on now. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on, fellas? But hey man, that's just how the dice rolls. Just know that hey, I'm still going somewhere. I'm doing my thing, of course, and of course they're probably doing their thing as well. But hey, that's just how the dice rolls in this life, fellas. This is how the dice rolls. See if I have anything else I want to say to that. Give me 1 second. All right. Anything else I want to say to that? Give me 1 second. Hmm. Give me 1 second. Hold up. All right, we back. We back. My bad. My bad. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with the stream. There's nothing wrong with the stream. It was just a situation that came up, so I'm just trying to go ahead and get that resolved real quick. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, just to reiterate, never lose a friend over a woman. If a woman or a friend of yours makes you choose between them or the latter, right? You always don't want to associate with your friends, or do not want to associate yourself with people that make you choose. So avoid that at all costs, because quite frankly, if they're making you choose, they're not of quality enough to realize that in life no one should make you choose, and there should be an option where you have whatever you would like. But yeah, with trying to get a friend back, or with losing a friend in general, right? If you do want that friend back, there's going to be a character test is definitely going to be there. Whether if they know that they're wrong, or let's just say something happens with a woman and they're no longer associated with that woman anymore. I would say it definitely takes a lot, but if they're willing to apologize, or they're willing to try to figure something out between y'all, it definitely says a lot about their character, and that is a test in its own. If they're not able to do that, they're not able to put the pride aside, then you know what, that person's probably not even worth having in your life, because they lack maturity. But it's definitely a character test, and it also tests to see if like I said, that friend is actually of quality or not. When it comes down to it, if there's certain men that would do that, they're not going to have your back later down the line, anyways. Which, like I said, you want to eliminate from your group, anyways. Um, Losing friends over women, I think realistically what it comes down to is having similar masculine values. If you do not have similar masculine values, of course, there's going to be an issue. There's going to be a rift that eventually comes up, whether this is with women or whether this is an outside situation, when it comes to just life in general. But if you're not aligned within your masculine values, then you're going to have an issue eventually. And like I said, the bro code. Respect the bro code. If you're a guy watching this right now, never disrespect the bro code. Never do any or act in any type of way that breaks the bro code. That is some slimy behavior. Slimy. I'm not trying to have that around me. No slimy behavior over here, because quite frankly, it's just goofy as hell. Why would you ever do anything goofy like that? It's stupid. Um, but yeah, don't act slimy. Rule number 1, don't act slimy. Rule number 2, hey, if that's your boy, you should be doing whatever it takes to still be friends with him, because quite frankly, like I said, not many people solid in this life, and you want to keep as many solid people as you can around. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave it just like that. I appreciate everyone for stopping by on this podcast. This was Life of a Champ podcast, episode number 53, talking about losing friends over women. Yeah, but other than that, I know this was a shorter podcast, but we're going to go ahead and end it off here. Next podcast is going to be Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned in for that. I might have a special guest on. I might not. And also, like I had mentioned earlier in the beginning of the podcast, make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on this video, as well as make sure you go ahead and like the TikToks that I've been posting as well. It's Life of a Champ podcast on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And like I said, until the next podcast on Wednesday.